Hey guys, and welcome to, well, it's been a long time since I've done one of these, but this is Wrestling Man's Retro Review. This is the series where I go over Coliseum home videos that you, the audience, get to pick from. Now, this is the 15th edition of the Retro Review, and this is the first one that's been done since June, so a little bit over two and a half months. Now that I got that out of the way, the song, don't get me wrong, I like that song. The video in question for this time around that you, the fans, voted upon, the best of the WWF Volume 4. Now, I did a video many years ago where I told you guys some of my favorite Coliseum home videotapes. And this one was one of my favorites. Now, this was about 2-3 years ago. Does the tape still hold up after 2-3 years? Well, let's find out. This videotape is hosted by Vince McMahon, and there really aren't that many matches. As a matter of fact, there are only 7 matches on this, with one of them showing the conclusion of its match. So the first match on this videotape is Rowdy Roddy Piper against Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And this is one of the rare matches on Coliseum Video back in 1985 where you get to see the entire match from beginning to end. And this is a match where you don't see a lot of wrestling, as both men can wrestle pretty good. But you see a lot of brawling and a lot of fighting. But with the feud that Orndorff and Piper had in 1985, you can expect something like that. But this was a good match. The ending of the match comes when Cowboy Bob Orton comes in and interferes on behalf of Rowdy Roddy Piper, and that causes the disqualification. Now, during this brawl that Orton and Piper have on Orndorff, the British Bulldogs come in and attempt to make the save, and eventually they do, and then Orndorff gets back up, and Orndorff wins by disqualification, although he was busted open in the aftermath of the match. Then we go to the next match, and this is one of the reasons why I really love this tape. Hulk Hogan and Superfly Jimmy Snuka against the Magnificent Morocco and Cowboy Bob Orton from the Boston Garden. Now, this is a very good tag team match. Now, I'm not saying this is one of the greatest tag team matches of all time, but this is a very good tag match. Plus, you have the crowd in Boston, which is always a fantastic wrestling town. You know, they're into this match from beginning to end. And one of the good things about this match is both baby faces, Hogan and Snuka, actually do get a beating in this. Like, Hogan, tries to get the tag, and eventually he does get the Snuka. And then Snuka gets his beating for a couple of minutes and then tags in Hogan. Now, while we don't see the entire match, we do get to see a very good portion of this match. And the match ends when Morocco and Orton would not stop attacking Hulk Hogan in the ring. Referee calls for the bell. Now, Snuka, who had been busted up during this match, comes back into the ring. And then, literally, folks, all hell broke loose in the Boston Garden. Now, they fought on the floor in the Boston Garden, and then one of the guardrails falls down, and then on the next side, some of the fans are trying to break the guardrail, trying to get it onto the floor of the garden, and then on the other side, there are some fans who actually got out of the crowd and were just, right at ringside after it's over. It's absolutely awesome. It's fantastic. You have to see it to believe it. It's one of those, you have to be kidding me kind of things, but it's true. One of those things actually happened. But Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Snuka get the win by disqualification. Then we go to our next match, a 20-man Battle Royal, and I am a huge fan of the Battle Royal. Now, this one is very interesting because, there's no Hogan, there's no Andre, there's no Stud, there's no Piper, but there's still a good roster of talent. And what's interesting is Jimmy Snuka is the first man eliminated in this Battle Royal. How surprising. Superfly Jimmy Snuka, who probably was one of the odds-on favorites to win that Battle Royal, was the first man eliminated. Now, after a lengthy time, we get down to the final 2 men of this Battle Royal. Tony Atlas and S.D. Jones. Yes, folks, I said it. S.D. Special Delivery Jones was among the final 2 men in the Battle Royal. So, instead of them fighting it out, they hug each other and they start celebrating. And this is before they went national. So, the only way to determine who would win was the flip of a coin toss. Yes, they decided who won a Battle Royal by a coin toss. And Tony Atlas won. So all Atlas did was just pick up S.D. Jones, using his body press, and just gently putting Jones on the apron, declaring him over the top, and Tony Atlas wins the Battle Royal that way. And it doesn't make any sense. Really doesn't. Then we go to a very nice series, a very nice montage of signature maneuvers of some of the superstars in the WWF, including Barry Windham and the Bulldog, the Iron Sheik and the Camel Clutch, King Kong Bundy and the Avalanche, Greg Valentine and the Figure 4 Leg Lock, Stan Hansen with the Lariat, the British Bulldogs with their acrobatic maneuvers, Ricky Steamboat with his karate, Jimmy Snuka jumping off the top rope and the cage, and so much more. It's actually a very different setting, a different series, but it's very nice because it sort of slows down the action that we had early on. Then we go to 3 matches in a row with the one and the only Andre the Giant. The first match is a match against Killer Khan. It is a stretcher match. You guys know what a stretcher match is. The way to win, you got to get your opponent on a stretcher, and he's done. He leaves. They clipped this match. It's an okay match for what it's worth. But Andre eventually gets the win in the stretcher match. I mean, Killer Khan tried to go for the ankle of Andre during the match, but Andre was just so pissed off, because he's Andre the Giant. And just puts Killer Khan out of his misery, and that's the end of that. Then we see the conclusion of a cage match that took place in Philadelphia between Andre the Giant and Big John Studd. And for the final couple of minutes of that match, that was a fun couple of minutes. Those two went really, they went at it in the cage. The finish comes when Andre slams John Studd. Now, at this point in time, it was $10,000 if anyone could body slam Big John Studd. It would go up to $15,000 later. And then Andre climbs the top rope and jumps on the Big John Studd, pretty much ending the match there, and he escapes the cage, and he's the winner. And then we go to the Colossal Jostle, a match between Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy, over 1,000 pounds of humanity, in the words of Gorilla Monsoon. This match came about when King Kong Bundy attacked Andre the Giant, and Big John Studd helped, and Bundy injured the sternum of Andre the Giant, sending him out of action for a couple of weeks. Now, this match is clipped. I mean, it is clipped. Now, I've seen the actual match, and it's not the greatest match in the world. It's not that entertaining. So for them clipping this, was a good move. Match ends when Big John Studd comes in and they disqualified Bundy. Lou Albano tries to come and save, but, they attack him, and Andre gets a chair, actually breaks the chair, breaks the cushion of the chair, and Studd and Bundy get out of there. Then the finale of the match, or of the show, a tag team match. Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake against Ricky Steamboat and Tito Santana. And folks, this is a great tag team, a fantastic tag team match. You know, this is just a very good match between four very good wrestlers. You could tell the chemistry was there with all four men. Of course, Beefcake and Valentine would end up becoming tag team champions later in 1985. But Steamboat and Santana had pretty good chemistry there as well. And, you know, it was just a very good match. Good commentary by Ventura and Monsoon. Ending comes when Santana put the figure four leg lock on Greg Valentine. Valentine submitted. Now, Valentine was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, so Santana getting a win in a tag match over his arch enemy was a big deal. And that is the best of the WWF Volume 4. So, what did I think about this videotape? Well, there are a couple of problems. Number one, 3 of the matches end in disqualification. The first 2 matches on the tape end in a disqualification. And they're good matches, especially the tag match, Hogan and Snuka against Orton and Morocco. So, you know, you have that, and then, you know, Andre and Bundy, that one also ended. So, of those matches, you get 3 of them. There's like 6 matches. I think 6, what did I say, 7? Yeah, 7 matches. Almost half of them end in disqualification. I didn't like that. Also, I did not like the ending of the Battle Royal. I thought that was just too stupid. I mean, the Battle Royal was good. I liked the match, but the ending was just stupid. But, on the plus side, the montage that I talked about with the signature maneuvers, and then the 2 tag matches, plus Orton and Piper and Orndorff, really make up for all the bad stuff on this tape. And it is a very good tape. It really is. If you can just ignore some of the bad stuff on the tape, you'll be able to enjoy it like I did. And this is definitely worth the tape, you know, recommending. If you can find it on Amazon or on eBay, you know, I definitely recommend you guys getting the best of the WWF Volume 4. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Wrestling Man's Retro Review. And don't forget to check out all my other videos right here on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Mr. Wrestling Man 85. Until next time, this has been another edition of Wrestling Man's Retro Review. Goodbye, everybody.